got a new hat. That's why I had to compliment myself. Welcome to Pick Central. Today it is myself, Clemmer, and Big Ev. We have Rico on the IL. He's at a specialist right now.
That's right, as we
heard. Dirty play by Gus last night. Let's get right into last night's game because it seemed like everyone was watching. It literally seemed like everyone's company was watching.
I watched the whole game.
Big Ev did text me, so I want to give Big Ev credit for texting me.
Marty Corver.
Not a lot of people on Twitter were being not a lot of people were talking about how good I was on Twitter yesterday.
Marty was great. I'll say this: Marty deserves all the praise. Marty was incredible last night. A really impressive performance. Period. Like,
I don't know what happened, Clement.
I've been coaching you 2 years now, and I've never seen you have a game like that. Marty became Steph Curry, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. Marty was all those things last night, and like I obviously. So their game plan was I talked to Kirk after the game. It was clear if you watched the game too. Like they were just trying to minimize Dana Beers,
which they did.
But because that happened and they were just crowding the box, it allowed you to have a lot of open looks. And what did you do? You just took advantage every single time.
I don't know what was going on, but I just kept hitting it, and it was. Let me tell you though, yesterday was one of the cooler things we've done because of how crazy Minifans are and how much they love Kirk. Like, I want to explain something to you, Ev. I thought maybe a couple people were going to show up. We get there. It's packed. There was at least 60 people there. At least.
They had a balcony. They had too many people. They had too many people on the court side. They had to have people sit in the balcony.
And let me explain to you how much they respect him, and I respect their world now more because I've now encountered it. They're crazy, but they're awesome because the game ended, right? We won by 11. The game is completely done. Not one single person got up from their seat until Kirk addressed them. Not one single person got up.
They didn't move. They didn't talk.
I go, what's going on? I was like, are we playing another game? Like, no one's leaving. Like, Kirk was talking to his team, and then Kirk went over to everyone, and then they got up. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen, but I respect it. And, like, I haven't had adrenaline rush like that in so long because, like, there was not one fan for us there, obviously. They would hit a three, place would go berserk. My first three I hit, in the middle of my shot, guy goes, Marty's got no fucking range. And I hit it. I pointed at his face. And it was like, I'm like, what's going on?
Like in the finals.
Yeah, like this is a real game. And like
they were awesome. I know a lot of those guys. I am a Minute fan. I'm that's how I got started here. And I know a lot of those guys. It was great seeing them again. They had a really good group there. A lot of people I was really happy to see again. That was awesome.
I want to play a second game because they've actually gotten better. I think we can pack out a gym even more. I'll even play a full away game in Boston. I don't give a fuck. It was so fun.
It was so fun, yeah. And it was I mean, that gym we went to was incredible. I thought that was great. But if there's a venue that makes more sense, logistically, whatever.
The refs were great too. Good refs.
The refs were really good.
Good refs. I mean, the ref in the middle during a timeout came over and took a Snapchat video. It was unbelievable.
They were having fun.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I was talking to Kirk a little bit about it. Maybe August. If that works.
You can't run it back too fast, but
right.
That's probably good.
But I think something like that, and that team is getting better. You could see it how they play defensively. They're already really good defensively. They got to figure out the offense. But
what I would love to do is a round robin with 3 teams, us, Minahan, Chicago. But it doesn't seem
Chicago
like,
we've asked to play Chicago how many times now?
Chicago wants to play, which is fine. I don't know.
Chief does.
Yeah, I know. He said like we've like 5 months.
We've been asking since the first season, since like I think it's almost been a year now.
It just makes sense, like they got a court, like we got a home court. They can have it, like we can play there.
That was something I was gonna ask. Would you guys just give up the home court? And
I'd give up home court. Yeah,
we just played a road game last night.
But you met halfway though.
Yeah, that was a what's it called?
Neutral site.
Neutral site.
But it wasn't though.
No, it wasn't. They had all their fans.
It wasn't neutral. Like,
their fans travel.
Yeah. You're getting the court literally in their house.
Right.
It was a question I was ready to ask.
It was like playing Alabama, because Alabama travels. It's like a shittier team.
You're playing
Alabama.
UConn in Boston.
Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly.
Or UConn in New York.
Right.
It was
Providence St. John's at the Garden.
I just have 2 questions that we need to just address right off the bat.
Was Gus's hit dirty or just clean play?
It was dirty, for sure dirty. I know what it is though. It's unexcusable. When someone goes up in the air, you can't go anywhere near their legs or whatever it is. But I've met him now. I talked to him. I saw the way he was talking after the game. He did not mean to do it, but he's so stupid on the court. He falls a lot. He doesn't know how to control his body. He doesn't know how to do stuff in the paint. Like, his guy was all the way to the left. I think he was covering Mulcahy at the time. And he slid in. He slid in correctly, but then did the incorrect thing in the paint.
So this is the second time this has happened. This happened last week in a game.
I didn't know that.
I forgot about it. The thing was that hit wasn't because Rico fell so hard because Rico didn't see Gus coming at all. It's pretty clear if you watch it. The other hit wasn't as bad, but it's the same basic play. And I called in a Kirk show today, and I believe this. I don't think Gus has any ill intent. I've met Gus a few times. I've talked to him. He's a nice guy, but he's dumb. And he may not have any ill intent, but he has no business being on a basketball court. I told Kirk he's throw him off the team. And not because he's a bad person, because if he keeps playing that way, he's going to get someone really hurt. Or he's going to start a fight. And then he puts everyone at risk. Like, I don't see and also he's, like, bad at basketball. Like, I don't see the reason to have him on a team.
Yeah, listen, this is what Barstool, of course, the way Barstool works is that it was Rico.
Of course.
That it was the
human
one
lightning rod.
That was going on. Like, the man never really drives the basket either. He's usually a guy on the outside a little bit. He doesn't usually drive. He did his and you know why he was so excited to do it? Dudes, are you watching the video?
What?
Or are you just laughing?
Yeah, I was just laughing.
Okay. He did his, like, it was a give and go, and, like, that's such, like, basketball porn to Rico. And he was having a good game before. He
was so happy.
He airballed the game, and he
Corner three was tough.
Corner three was bad.
He had that great steal off Kirk, though.
Stole the ball from Kirk, and then he turned it over. But still, it was like
the Bosco experience.
The Bosco experience was happening.
He was in really good spirits the whole game. Like, he even, like, we were talking halftime. He's like, I've been good. Like, in other words, like, he's been behaving himself. I'm like, you really have been. I actually got to give Rico a lot of credit, and this goes back to Rico being a change guy. So Rico shoved Gus.
I'd love to know where this one's going.
Yeah, Rico shoved Gus, which is completely fair, like, in the moment. And
100%.
And then Billy luckily grabbed him, pulled him away. And then Rico sat on that bench the entire game and didn't – I think the old Rico may have gone after Gus after the game, or it may have made the situation a lot worse. Rico sat there like a professional and then went to his car. I give him hey, man.
You're crazy, bro.
No, I'm not.
The guy almost killed him.
Listen,
if Billy didn't go, he should have.
In the moment, but after that, though, when you're sitting there stewing,
you can't
hurt,
go over and beat the guy up.
I love
You don't think
Bosco.
Rico might have done that a year ago?
You're giving him
I
a
don't
lot of
think
credit for
so.
not just basically committing assault.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
think he's
not Bosco's in the moment guy. He's
I think
not like a
yes. He's not gonna.
Even old Bosco, if he was gonna like go nuts, it would have been in that moment.
You saw it. He blacked
doesn't-
out in
yeah,
that moment.
In that moment.
When he was held by Billy, and that
yeah.
picture, that was. If we can bring up
So
that picture,
funny. That
the
picture
was
was
it was like this.
I also think that, like, I love Gus. I don't think it was intentional. I actually see where he was coming from when he explained himself about, like, his elbow turning. I just think he's an idiot. But I think if you do that in a basketball game and it's like 30 up leagues and whatnot, I think Bosco has every single right in the world to punch him in the motherfucking
But
face.
he was, and that was fine in the moment.
I don't even think Billy should have held it back. I think you just let him go.
Well, I don't think Billy knew.
No, that's my opinion.
I don't think what Billy. I don't know. Billy also tweeted after being like, "I didn't know this happened. I wouldn't have held him back." Like,
I love Gus. I love Gus. But if we're talking content and whatnot, like, he did a scummy play.
But
Bosco
what we're saying, Dukes, is. And I agree with you. In that moment, I think everything's on the table because he almost like he hit his face. And
Right.
But if it was 20 minutes after and he
Agreed.
did it, that'd be fucking
Agreed.
insane.
Agreed. It would be like like thank
Basically
God.
premeditated. But
Then you're like you're basically cheap shotting him. Because it's in the moment. It's not a cheap shot.
I
But,
love-
like, but I don't like. I think the
You're
old
giving him.
Rico.
I think what you're saying. Give
Maybe
him-
you're right. Maybe you're right.
Also, the old Bosco just snaps. Like the old Bosco doesn't do it 30 minutes after.
Yeah.
The old Bosco is Bosco now.
Yeah.
Here's a-
yeah, that's also.
There's a lot of guys that after that game's over, they meet him in the parking lot, and it gets nasty.
I mean,
that happens. So I give Rico
sure,
credit
sure,
for.
sure, it
so
happens,
now,
but-
dudes, I know what you're saying about, like, oh, you're in the league. We're also at work. This is it's a stream. Like, we are still, professionals here. And the fact that he didn't go to him in the parking lot, the fact that he made it as he didn't make the situation worse, I give Rico credit. It's easy to shit on Rico for stuff all the time. We do it all the time. But I think we have to also give him credit when he does the right thing, and he did the right thing last night. That's all I'm saying.
That's fine.
He did.
That's fine.
I think Bosco's he's in a tough spot here with the hospital thing going on because I think he's in a spot where like if he breaks his arm, he's a almost 40-year-old man with a broken arm. Like
yes,
like can't
bad
lose bad.
How'd you do it?
But
Gus,
yeah, you play basketball and broke your arm. But if there's not a fracture or like a somewhat significant injury,
oof.
Then he's kind of like a pussy who just went to the hospital for no reason. So I think he's in a little.
So the hospital did send him to the specialist, though. The hospital wouldn't send him to the specialist if there was nothing.
It's fair. I don't think he's like faking it or nothing.
We gotta believe him.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
I
know. I believe he went to the. I was in the call with him. No. Listen.
You don't?
No, I believe
he doesn't. He's backpedaling right now.
No, I'm not. No, I'll tell you exactly what it is.
He's not at the hospital. Is what
no, I know he's definitely at the hospital. I texted him last night, and I was in the car with him, and he was screaming in the car. He scared a homeless guy last night. We got to the Barstool office at like 10:30 last night, and he went to go grab a body armor on the in Nick Mulcahy's car, and he goes, oh! And then this homeless guy goes, he's looking around like this. He's like, what? When you scare a homeless guy in New York City, he was screaming in the car. He bought a bag of ice that was like you would buy for like a barbecue.
And he loves ice. How ironic!
I know.
He loves
and he
ice.
put it on his arm for the whole time. The funnier thing was, and he was hurt. I don't want to minimize his injury because he was hurting really bad. He kept asking me, "Am I okay? Like, am I gonna be fucked?" I felt bad for him, but it was funny. We got Frank Pepe's last night. He's the first one out with the 4 boxes in his arms like this. But that's adrenaline from Frank Pepe's because it's so good. He's like, he was so excited. He got the clam pie. He got everything. He was so excited for it.
When I ran to him yesterday, he had blood in his mouth. I thought he did lose teeth.
Yeah.
And then he also had blood on his nose. So I thought, because I didn't know how he fell. What happened was the blood in his mouth got to his outside of his nose. And then once he was able to wipe the blood away, it went away pretty quick. But I'm like, oh my God, did this guy just bust up his whole face?
I need to say, if that was me, notice I don't drive a lot for this reason. If that was me, I would have fucking done the same thing. I would have tried to kill him.
Yeah.
100%.
That's why there's part of me that agrees with Duke because I think Bosco gets away with that one there.
Dude, he has one chance in his Barstool career to punch someone in the mouth.
Yes, exactly.
He had one chance, but he was right.
that punch, his job's safe.
That's
what I think.
But you never want to
also, Clement, you're talking about like this is work. Like Gus does not work here.
I know, but we do.
Yeah, but that does.
Yeah, but you
never want to punch. It's.
I know.
I'm like half joking, obviously, when I say
don't think I am.
You have to think of it. It's also still work where it's like then Dave has to like you can't punch. It's also worse. Gus doesn't work here. You're right. So that makes
Yeah, he breaks his jaw. Who pays those medical bills? Like
it's bad.
That's a slippery slope. I'm just saying you got to.
I think it's the scummiest thing that you could do in a pickup. Basically, a pickup basketball game. It's the scummiest thing that you can do in the world, and it's the one time that you can punch someone in the face.
I don't.
On the playground, yes.
Yeah,
it basically was.
But it's not.
It wasn't.
Working.
I think you guys also know the tone.
Right.
The tone of like the Kirk
both
Minahan.
of us are right.
Like, I know Kirk didn't like direct orders. Like he said, like play like.
He said not to
do
that.
Play hard. Don't be dirty. Don't be cheap. But like in the same sense, like Gus has nothing to lose in that basketball game. Like, what if he does play cheap? He doesn't get fired.
No.
I also don't think he's like a bad person.
He didn't do it intentionally.
I think what I'm saying is Bosco for the first time in his life was like go get him, dog, and he could have just
I don't
done
think
anything.
Bosco's a big puncher either. I think he's a
I mean, he couldn't. He has no arm now.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Hey, he shot the free throw after.
Tough. He's like Kobe when he tore his Achilles. Also,
Listen,
I will say
I hope Bosco's all right.
I love High Noon, like great delicious drink. Thank God they didn't sponsor last night's game.
Yeah, listen, the whole thing was crazy. If you had to write a script of how the game went, Bosco almost fighting someone with Gus getting teed up as well. Billy fouled out of a fucking rec league basketball.
Got a technical. He jumps on the other basket and he hangs on it. He gets a technical. I say to him, "Why did you do that?" And he goes, "I don't know." He also shot up a 3. I said, "If you shoot a 3 again, I'm going to spank you like a baby." Like, what are you doing? And also, to boot, I had to wake Billy up. Billy was on the train sleeping, and I had to run to the cafe car to wake him up before he would have missed the train. He would have got off in Boston.
He fouled out with 6 fouls with 10
like
minutes left in the second half.
Oh, see, honestly, we didn't like the foul situation. When I thought he just didn't go back in.
He had 6 fouls.
I didn't because
On the fouls in the first half.
on the broadcast. I don't think they mentioned it.
Yeah, I don't think they didn't know.
Unless I just missed it because I thought you had just benched him.
No,
I was like, when
He did bench him in the first half.
to me, I'm watching the second half and I'm like, when is Billy gonna wring Clemmer's neck for not being in?
Oh, look, Billy's much stronger than I am. Billy could, a pinky could flip me over. I was ready to strangle him. And all he kept talking about was wanting to get beers after the game. I love Billy, and Billy's been awesome these 2 seasons we've been doing this. But I don't know what happened last night. It was a different Billy, and it was like having
Bosco.
It was like an 8-year-old. Yeah, it's poor
Bosco just wrapped up by 3 dudes.
Poor Rico.
Clemmer's got his hands on him. Dana,
Mop
Billy.
in hand.
I
I didn't even notice I pulled up that pick on accident.
Oh no! Why are you doing that?
I didn't realize it was the Quigs pick.
Oh no!
That's not right.
That was bad.
Someone may have mentioned him if he sent a text to Quigs to do some X-ray photos.
Dude, Dave texted him in the car ride home, being like, and he sent him that picture with his face on the ground, being like, basement picture ?
Then he had Quigs
no.
sent him with just like an arm just a little out of place. Look what he did. His
Oh, the
arm's
whole
like,
thing.
His arm's like sideways.
Oh, before I forget, I want to shout out the I don't know their names. I'm sorry, but the announcers were awesome. They were like actually good. I thought they were like
The one guy that's on the, I guess if they had the camera on them, the guy that was to the left, he was unbelievable.
they were like because I don't know them at all. I don't know what's going like how they. I listened to it back like a little bit, and it was good. Like it was, and like they were. It made it interesting. It made it more funny too. But yeah, the whole thing.
Those guys are Josh and James.
James.
They are fantastic. I watch every game, and they got another game on Thursday. Those guys are the best.
Sorry to cut you
They're
off.
so good.
Yeah, no, they're great.
I mean, so I have nothing. Only just like I love their announcing, and also they call it like they're obviously for Kirk Minahan's team. Like, it's almost like you're watching like a real broadcast of a local broadcast.
Yeah.
Like they call it fair, and they actually called the Gus thing perfectly. They immediately said undercut. They immediately said it was a bad look by Gus. But they're obviously gonna be more excited when Kirk's team does well. You feel like you're getting a real broadcast. They're funny, but don't overdo it. I don't know. Those guys make the broadcast so much better. I love those guys.
Hearing them yell "cinema" over and over again is so awesome.
They're
Also,
awesome.
like, Bibbs did a blog about like our comparisons, and Bibbs put me as Michael Jordan.
He said
so
it
they were, like,
on the
saying-
broadcast. He said it at the beginning.
It was so funny. But lastly, before we move on, I know we're talking about this a lot, but it was a big event last night. Kirk rubbed Gia's head after end one and called her like a couple names. Gia, though, in respect to her, went straight back at Kirk with some insults as well. Back and forth, back and forth. But this one lady in the crowd, out of nowhere, just goes, she's by herself there, just goes, "Shut the fuck up, Gia. Do something fucking about it over here."
Oh my god!
And we all look, I go, "Gia, don't say nothing." She would have beat the shit out of all of us.
That's Julie. She kind of covers events for Kirk. She dots the I's and
these
crosses
people?
the T's.
I
For
love
Kirk.
it, though. I love it. It's
But
great.
Gia, I think, earned a lot of respect from people last night. She didn't pout at all. She went back at Kirk. Kirk went back at her.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, it looks like they had a nice conversation, or at least kind of like a little mutual respect. So I don't know, Gia. I would say everyone on our team really. Billy drove me crazy, but I give Billy credit for holding Rico back.
Yeah.
I love Billy.
No, the whole thing.
But the whole thing was awesome. I'd be really excited to do it again in August.
No, me too. All right, let's move on.
Well, there's one last thing. Question in the Rumble chat. Clemmer, do you take any blame for Bosco's injury by playing him too many minutes?
He's our sixth man.
I don't. No, not at all. I think Rico's a really good bat. I mean, I guess I don't really get the question. I'm sure it's a troll thing or something. Maybe a misunderstanding. But like, Rico is the sixth guy. I've been playing him as sixth guy all year. I mean, he's a really good basketball player, and he's like a perfect bench guy. Like different energy. He has that weird Rico energy when I bring off the bench.
Some are saying you ran a 36-year-old guard into the ground. That's all.
I think a guy that had a stroke 10 years ago ran Rico into the ground.
Wow.
I mean, that's what happened. Gus had a stroke 10 years ago. That's not.
Did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
How old is he?
Never mind. He shouldn't have punched him in the face.
right after college.
Also had like 5 concussions supposedly.
Jeez.
Gus?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gus has had concussion.
That
afterwards.
checks out.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and other thing.
Guy?
Dude, they play basketball. No, what?
Is that a football guy?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
Gus.
He had how do you get 5
I
concussions?
think he's just a
stroke.
human.
He
His
just
brain
falls.
he has brain damage.
And Billy Football probably has 5
Yeah.
concussions too.
Like it went like
Football.
like
I doubt he has.
no like Gus has like, and that's the other thing too. And Gus, I think Gus is a good guy. Gus also loves the attention. He's mugging for the camera all the time. I think little Gus goes a long way, and it went way too far yesterday.
Fuck, what was I just about to say? Shit. But yeah, I forgot what I was about to say. But it was great. The whole thing was fantastic. Shout out. We covered the spread by a half a point.
Really? Yep.
Shout out that Shark guy. What's
Shark
his name?
Minahan.
I mean, what a line.
What a line.
What a line.
What a line by Shark.
Nailed it.
Insane.
What a line by Shark. Unbelievable.
Shark Minahan has not only has he had like player props, he has everything for every game they do. So if you're interested in like Kirk stuff, like his lines are always awesome and well thought out.
Listen, that's my first introduction to the Kirk world, and I'm not gonna lie, enjoyed myself immensely. So I want to kick this off by now shitting on Clemmer a little bit and your team. What's going on with your team? A lot of minicamp trouble already.
Yeah, not great.
That's
Like
what's going on? Like what? Robert Saleh, like, I think he's the worst coach. I think he is, honestly. I think he sucks. I think he's a bad coach. I think he's just like pretends to be this rah-rah football guy. I don't think he knows how to handle the media. I don't think he knows how to handle this football team with these stars, because his comments to me are crazy.
I'll say this. Well, okay. So I guess there's 2 ways to look at it. I'm not a huge Saleh guy myself. I don't think he's the worst, but I think there's like he's more to bad than good. So
Yes.
I don't entirely disagree. So there's 2 ways to look at this. I guess option A is you're right. Like, is Saleh just not handling the star players correctly, or did Aaron Rodgers kind of hang him out to dry here? And maybe, obviously, something went down where Saleh wanted him there. Rodgers said he had a prior engagement he couldn't get out of, which is kind of weird because I thought like the Jets were your job. I don't really get it. Obviously, there's some sort of dissension. It's funny because the whole thing was like, in the offseason, a lot of us Jets fans wanted Saleh gone. And it's like, well, you're not going to get rid of Saleh because Rodgers loves him. So maybe there's like trouble in the water. I don't know. This was weird today.
So Rodgers said that he had an event he couldn't get out of.
Right.
You say, but like, you said your job is a Jets, yes, but you have Aaron Rodgers. Like, you know what happens, what comes with him. He's an unbelievable quarterback. That's just a given. We think. We don't know at this point.
He has been.
But he's been up until this point. But you know the stuff that comes with him. Like, if you told me Aaron Rodgers didn't make minicamp, I'd be like, okay, it's Tuesday.
That was my attitude too, as a fan. I mean, what do I know? But I had the same reaction.
Yeah, it's just like he probably had something. And he's like, I don't need to go to minicamp. I'm Aaron Rodgers. You know, like
That's what I think. That was my.
yeah.
I thought it was kind of like not a big deal.
So here's
And then
the
the
thing.
other guy was
Reddick. Yeah, Reddick.
Is-
But Reddick's
he's trying to try a new deal.
his is a much bigger deal.
Huge.
but his was excused, right?
No, because he
His unexcused.
My
his
understanding was he hasn't even like spoken
to
to Saleh personally, and the
That's
trade was
right.
trade was months ago.
trying to
Yeah,
get a new contract, but he just got traded. You know, like, I know it's hard. Like, they
Yeah, I mean that's a salary. I think that kind of happens. So the Rodgers, maybe it's why Saleh's more like, I don't know. Maybe he's not forgiving. It's weird that he hasn't. That seems like an agent telling him, "Hey, stay quiet."
Because Rodgers, I know, like when it matters, he's going to show up at least. Whatever happens, injury, play, he's going to be there when it
So
matters.
then, why did Saleh sell him out like this?
Well, that's what I'm trying to
That-
say.
no,
is
that
I mean,
definitely.
that's the mystery. I don't know.
how stupid are you? Like, I get it. Like, you're not like everybody. Like, everyone's the same on this team, but they're just not.
No.
You know, like, you have to play it as like, if LeBron said I'm not coming today, you think the coach is going to be like,
He's
LeBron missed
suspended,
it.
yeah,
He's
like-
suspended. Like, no, you have to. That's how the world works. The world is not fair. The stars get better treatment than the other guys. That's
This
just
tells me
fact.
something's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it sounds like they're frustrated with shit, but like, bro, it's June 11th.
Right.
And we're already talking about the Jets, like, turmoil in the locker room. It's like, what are we doing? And I actually, again, I don't give a fuck about the Jets. I really don't. It's not like the Mets and the Yankees a little bit or like anything like that.
Right.
The Jets are just always like, fine, good for them. I don't.
I don't have any animosity to
Yeah,
the
do you
Giants.
feel the same?
Yeah, I don't care about the Jets like in a bad way.
Oh.
I was like on their bandwagon last
Yeah.
year. I was like all in on the Jets.
I'm kind of excited to watch
Super
them
Bowl
this year, too.
contender. This year now I'm going a little more hesitant. I still believe they can be really fucking good.
I like Aaron Rodgers.
I just think they're
a football player.
I agree with you that I think Sal is not a good coach. And the thinking that the combo they're two basically like head guys are Saleh and Hackett, bad news.
Yeah, bad news.
Just bad. And I mean Hackett's around because Rodgers loves him.
Rodgers loves him.
But I almost feel like Rodgers, he just knows he gets to do what he wants.
Yep.
Yeah.
When Hackett's calling play.
And I feel like that was also why they kept Saleh around, because Rodgers felt like he could do what he wants.
I think
Maybe that's not the case.
I think Saleh is so lucky that Rodgers honestly like did get hurt in a way, because if things didn't go well last year and he was like, if Rodgers had played and things didn't go the way they wanted him to, Saleh's out of there.
The only thing is that
The
looking
biggest scapegoat he had was Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's been a scapegoat for like
right
how long has he been a coach? 3 years?
3 years.
Like for the last 3
Year
years,
4, yeah.
he's just been like, look at my quarterback, Zach Wilson. How can I win? And then he just got another year of that because Rodgers got hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
And here we are. Now, to me, this is
You
like
can't
Not
fire him.
trolling?
Yeah, you can't fire him after last year.
no. He used Zach Wilson. That was his like.
But in
that was his
fairness, though,
olive
looking how that season wrapped up, we all know that if Rodgers was healthy, they would have made the playoffs.
for sure. I think
Because the
I
AFC had so
think
many
for
quarterback
sure.
injuries and shit like that. So, like,
But then you start saying it's like all those other quarterbacks got injured too. It's the same luck as the other teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theirs was just more egregious.
You
'cause
can't
it was-
fire a
it was-
coach when your
play four.
quarterback you just got, who's a star, got hurt in the first 4 snaps. You can't fire a
Well,
coach to do
what
that.
if he gets hurt again? Is he
Well,
still safe?
Yeah.
no, he's not.
No.
It depends on how they do, though.
No,
They do.
Bill Parcells has a great
Your
line.
backup now.
Jordan Travis.
No.
Tyrod Taylor, who's like a good backup.
Not. I mean,
Good backup.
Fantasy
you
champion
can-
for
you-
me.
A lot of teams have made the playoffs with backup quarterbacks.
The Browns did last year, where the guy the Jets
Not
tossed to the
Zach
curb.
I think even if they had Tyrod
Zach
Taylor
Wilson
last
is
year, they
like
might have.
he got a fresh starter with the Broncos camp, and a lot of people are saying he's a starting quarterback now.
I mean,
Let me
we
tell you
can-
something. I'm so back in on Zach Wilson on the
Him,
Broncos.
it'd be so funny.
They have the same.
It is-
They have the same quarterback. Whoever they play is the same guy.
Not a nightmare scenario for the
Nix.
Jets, but a nightmare scenario for like Robert Saleh is if Zach
Oh my
Wilson does well with the
God,
Broncos,
yes.
and like even if Rodgers gets hurt or not, and like the Jets can't flourish.
Who's the Broncos receivers?
Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
Judy got
Yeah, he got
traded.
traded. That's what
They,
I'm saying. I don't know. Who did Judy go to?
Browns.
Browns.
Love the Browns this year.
I think did they draft one this year?
they
Oh,
have,
they
like,
drafted
Kendall-
Troy Franklin, who
God.
was like Oregon. It kind of was nice. I thought he was a steal in the third round.
Kendall Hinton.
Yeah, dude, so go to the actual depth chart because those are not like.
Nah,
like-
Troy Franklin. They drafted third round, who was Bo Nix's receiver at Oregon. So they
Reynolds,
just drafted his guy.
Marvin Mims.
Mims is decent, but like
Yeah.
nothing to like right home.
It's not
about.
great. It's not great.
I like to.
I think Sutton's like good, but other
Sutton's
than that,
good.
University of Dayton's Adam Troutman at tight end.
Philip Dorsett, Super Bowl
This,
champion.
correct me if you guys think I'm wrong. I think this year's NFL is like there is a ton of teams where you're like at the start of the season we don't know how it's going to play out, but at the start of the season, if I start naming teams, you're like, fuck, they got a lot better. They're going to be good.
It's
Like,
every year though, and then injuries.
no, I don't know. I think like I think a lot of people moved. So like I think the Ravens, right? They were really good last year, but they got better.
Yeah.
100%. I think they did.
But then, but
think that-
also they were benefited by luck because Lamar never got hurt last year. So like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can kind of play
I'm
that
just
game.
saying, like Derrick Henry on the Ravens is also like that's an upgrade.
Sure.
Is it?
Yes.
yeah. I mean,
Why is it
Phil,
not?
Hold on, Phil. Give me your argument.
They
first.
have the backups who are actually good running backs as well. It's a perfect. It's literally a perfect
I think it
balance.
fits the offense.
Oh, no, I want to hear Phil's argument. Of
Derrick
doesn't
Henry
have
himself's also injury prone. I don't know if he goes down.
They're fine. That's the thing. I'm saying like.
Why
they
is it not
have
an
the
upgrade though? I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's a joke, Clemmer.
No.
No one thought it was a joke.
I think it was.
No one none of the three of us
wrong.
got your comic gold of Phil.
All right.
All right. Robert Saleh, one last thing on him before we move on, just real quick.
He's bald.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
He's bald.
Dial back. Say that stuff for Carolines, all right? Or maybe Comedy Cellar.
Oh, I get it.
That's good.
So, Bill Parcells always says you are what your record is, right? And Robert Saleh is 18-33 with 353 winning percentage. And at some point, you have to take ownership of that. Now, you can say the Jets are kind of a shit franchise, which they completely are. I'm a Jets fan. I know it. But at some point, you gotta win some games. And if they don't win this year, I don't care if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt in the fourth play again. He's gone.
No, for sure. This
Yeah,
is it.
I agree.
Their odds went down this morning.
That makes sense, but it's a good time to take them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But they are way lower.
Boy,
than
a
I
lot
thought
of comedy over
Jokes
there.
back
Yeah,
there
woo.
today.
The only joke is the Jets right now.
Oh, there we go.
What's the Patriots?
Attaboy.
What's the Patriots?
Rebuilding year. This is win now, buddy.
no, you can't
Win now,
talk shit.
buddy.
Bring up the
No,
clip
what-
of Drake May. Everyone is on today. You see that?
Yeah.
No, let's
Unbelievable.
Let me see here. What's the odds for
That
the
kid was
worst
great.
record in the
Jacoby
NFL?
Brissett saying how great Drake May is.
Give me 1 second
Rebuilding
here.
year.
Rebuilding
You got about,
year,
Like one more
right.
year left, Clemmer.
Right.
Keep pounding that chest, brother. You got this.
Oh, all right, I will. I mean, the Patriots are horrible. The Patriots are right now. The odds are they're gonna have the worst record in the
Dude,
NFL.
keep talking to me. This is great. Win now. Win now.
No,
Win now. You got this.
All right,
Clemmer.
let's
You got this.
Weird reaction.
You
We'll
got
save
this.
this.
Team is horrible. I'm sorry. It's not my fault.
You got this.
I
Win
got
now.
what?
Win now.
We will.
Win now.
We'll beat
Playoffs.
the Patriots.
Hang the banner.
We will. We will beat the Patriots. Yeah.
Hang the banner.
Can I just say,
Team's horrible.
One win in the last
Your te-
25.
Your team's horrible. You are literally the
I just
odds-on
said
favorite.
rebuilding
no,
year.
I know you keep saying that, but you're not acknowledging how horrible they are. They are the worst team in the NFL right now, according to the sportsbook.
No, they're not. It's actually the Carolina Panthers. According to the sportsbook. Oh yeah, odds are always right. Isn't that what you always say, nerd?
I never say anything like that. What are you talking about?
Yes, you do. You always say like, oh yeah, the favorites always win.
I never say that. When have I ever said that?
I missed them.
Because that nerd was from Dukes' balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Sorry, frat boy. sorry, Duke lacrosse rip-off motherfucker. You want to go down that road? We can. Like, it's fine. I mean,
I own it.
you own it. All right, then I guess I'll own being a nerd, and you own being a idiot frat boy.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, cool. The Patriots still suck.
Okay. The Jets are still a joke.
No, they're not.
Okay.
All right, Phil. Thanks.
what are you, Phil? What am I getting?
He said okay.
I feel like we're having a little bit. I just needed just a little bit of like. Knicks fans aren't allowed to say anything, but now Jets fans are allowed to. I'm just saying, there's a little hypocrisy.
Jets fans are allowed to talk now.
You're not wrong. Like the Pats, obviously they.
Yeah,
stink.
they suck.
fucking
I'm not
stink.
like
You're
I'm not
wrong.
like
They
admitting.
stink.
I said
They
rebuilding
stink.
year, and
I
you're
know.
like you're not admitting it. I said rebuilding year.
No, you're not admitting how horrible they are. You need to really like. I want to hear that from the gut. How terrible they are, because they are.
Their
horrific.
defense is still really good. Their offense, we do not know anything about.
How many
them.
games did they win this year?
At the max?
No. How many do you think they win this year? Not at the max.
I think 6 to 7.
Okay, that's insane.
I think 6.
I will bet you. What do you want to bet? We should come up with something because they're not going to win 7 games this year.
You guys have to.
That's
bet something.
insane.
What's,
I mean,
what's
that's,
their actual over/under? 6.5, 5.5?
take the under there. Let's find it here.
I'd guess
I'm looking right now.
it's got to be 5.5 or 6.5.
Oh, 4.5, my friend.
Really, 4.5?
You're odds on. Like that wasn't a joke.
It's not like that. It's not like that crazy.
Fewest wins. You're wrong, by the way. Fewest wins. New England Patriots plus 340. It is odds on. They are going to be the worst team in the NFL.
What's the odds? Like, what's the
Champion odds?
What's
Carolina's
the
last.
line?
Fewest regular season wins. Patriots plus 340. Panthers plus 550.
Okay.
So I was right.
You were, but I'm saying that if you look at the champion odds, Panthers were.
But that's not what I said. I said the book says they are going to win the least games this year. I said this, and you then called me a nerd.
Okay, you know what? I was wrong because I was looking
Thank
at the
you.
champion odds.
Thank you.
All right, and that's your Jets Patriots argument on the show today. Back to what I was saying, Phil. Nope, you're not saying anything right now because it's not going to be good. I know it.
No, it actually is good.
Okay.
Can I
doubt
promise
it.
you it is good?
If you promise me,
I promise
it's
you
good?
it's good because I think it's actually a good
Okay,
take.
if it's not good, he can't talk the rest of the show.
That's a good deal.
Deal?
So, do you feel like football more than like any other sport is the one where fans go into like week one with like more hope than any other sport? Whereas like
Yes.
baseball, you go into it's like maybe like 15 teams.
Well,
right-
just because there's
right
less
the bat away.
games, you know, and like if you lose the first game, or you win that first game, you're like, holy shit,
yeah, you go
I'm
in
back.
You go in with hope, and then the second you lose week one, you're like, well,
Yeah, but
it's over.
also you lose hope way faster in football than any other sport.
I think football. I think in the NFL specifically, I think there's more. We've seen more times examples of teams that don't have a crazy like roster change or crazy anything like free agency pickups, and have vast improvements. I think it's the one sport where you can have almost a very similar team come back and then just improve. If that makes sense.
I think also the season's so short where crazy things can happen. Like you
Yes.
can have a team win 9 games and back into the playoffs, even if they're not the most talented team.
Or you
Like,
have a team like
so-
the Vikings a couple of years ago, where they're like, what were they, 13-4?
Yeah.
The year
Won
the Giants
bunch of-
beat them. Like they were, everyone knew they weren't good. But I'm saying you can still, as a fan, you can buy in on this team
Like unless you're the
No, we
Jets
won
for
a
the last
bunch of
dozen
games.
years, like every team has made, like, has made the playoffs fairly more or less. Like, and they've had some runs where I think in baseball or NBA especially, you're more locked into who you are.
For NBA, probably the most.
Yeah,
NBA has probably the least surprises.
I agree.
They have them from time to
I
time.
think a short season allows for more optimism.
I think
But I mean, NBA, you go into a season and you could. I think if you for the last definitely for the last probably 20 years, if you gave most basketball fans let them circle 4 teams before the season starts to win a finals, you're probably gonna hit. I bet you'd hit 95% of the time.
Sorry, I just need to raise my hand for a second.
Okay.
I'm doing breaking news of a show that's coming out later, which is The Rundown. And I'm going to steal what they've said so far. Chicago guys, and who is Nikki Smokes, Ohio State, and Chief. 3 guys I actually like, so that's unfortunate. Said on The Rundown that they can put together 2 different teams that would beat our best team.
Wow.
In the city.
That's
I
not
want
even remotely
Zesty
true.
talk.
That's one not remotely
Very
true.
zesty talk.
That's not remotely true because that's just I've seen them play. Titus is a lock. He's an unbelievable shooter. I've seen it. He's very good. There's 4 other. You got to put 4 other guys.
So you're willing? So Titus.
But I also
so do we
wanted
get
to-
Pat Bev?
No. I don't want Pat Bev for that because obviously it's not fair. We have an NBA player. Let's be honest, Titus was a D1 player, but that's a different stratosphere.
I agree, but I almost think a D1 is kind of like a ringer a little bit. No.
He works
It's
here full
definitely-
time though, but that's
definitely a ringer.
But also
Yeah,
Nick
it's kinda
Mulcahy,
bullshit.
not D1, but he's not content. So
But they're gonna be playing guys that aren't content.
I don't. Well, that's what we have to figure out. But
Yeah.
I need everyone to know we've accepted it 10,000 times.
We've been trying to do this for
asked.
6 months.
We have been told no. So
Yeah.
don't come at us saying you could beat us with teams and chirp when you won't play us. So that's all I got to say.
You guys figure out internally because that's.
It's not us.
It's not us.
We
We've
have
been
been
trying to play.
asking to play. We actually have sent text messages. We've sent emails to try and get sponsored, have an event type of thing.
We were told no.
Told no. So I don't care what you guys say. You guys keep saying things. I'm not even saying I think we'll beat you actually. I think we are more the chemistry we play together.
Mm-hmm.
They also play 6 times a day though. That's the one thing. They got a court.
They do. No, I'm sure it would be. I know they
I
play.
think it'd be a good game.
It would be, but we want to play everyone. Also, it's just fun to play.
Yeah.
We want to play.
And I think it also is funny to if we did a round robin with Kirk's team and them, it would be unbelievable. But just needed to get that out there. They also couldn't put 2 teams that would beat us. That's just
let him do that. Let him. We don't even have round robin.
I
Then.
would even argue any team with. Any team without Titus, I don't know how you could. I don't think they. I think they
Without Titus,
that's what I'm
no
saying. I think they'd have a
chance.
tough time.
That's
You know what?
the thing.
I think that's great. They should have the 2 teams because then we have our team and Kirk's team, and then we have 4 teams. We could have a bracket. We
Sure.
can do it. So you want every 2 teams? Go for it.
Yeah, that's
Go
also
for it. You
fine.
guys want to do that? Absolutely.
Um,
We'd love to do it. We've been talking.
trying to.
Yeah.
Trying to. Back to football. What I was going my point before. Ravens, I think, got better. I think the Browns got better. It depends on Deshaun Watson. We just don't know what the fuck he's going to do. Right now, he might suck. We don't know. But the offense around him, he doesn't have to be the best quarterback in the world.
No, and they just got.
Chubb didn't play last year.
Yeah, Chubb should be back to normal at least by halfway through.
As Ebo says, and I have fully on the train, he's the best running back to if you look at his stats, supposedly, they're the craziest stats.
Well, pretty much. I think it's based largely off of the yards per carry, which
Yeah.
is and I think almost in NFL history, he's at the top or close to it.
Yeah,
I think it
Chubb,
literally is Jamal Charles and him for I think he averages basically over 5 yards.
Chubb was hurt last year. Joe Flacco brought him to the fucking playoffs. I think that the Browns are actually just going to be good. The Steelers, no matter what you say, whatever you think about Russell Wilson, they have gotten better.
So
Yeah, they probably improved.
I will say the book disagrees with you a little bit. So the over/under for wins for the Browns is 8.5. That's less than last year. And the
I like
Steelers is 8.5, which is about the same as last year.
Well, I think that's fine though. I don't think Russell Wilson's better than Kenny Pickett.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
We can't.
Yeah.
That's an upgrade no matter
I don't
what.
know how
And
much.
also,
I don't know how much of an upgrade, but
and if you want to say, and as a guy who doesn't like the other guy, Justin Fields is better than Kenny Pickett.
I think so. Too.
Yes, I agree.
So I think that's where it's that's me taking off my Justin Fields hat for a second.
What are the teams you think got worse?
Worse? Well, I want to actually one more question. What's your thoughts on the Titans?
They
who
got
have.
worse.
How'd they get worse when they added players?
I thought they
Like, good
fired a
players.
good coach and
Yeah.
this
For sure, but they also added Ridley.
They added Ridley.
They added somebody else too. I thought
They might have added some defense. I'm trying to think because obviously they lost.
like D Hop and
Lost
Ridley.
Henry, obviously.
D Hop and Ridley's not a bad.
I'm not. I am worried a little
It's all
bit.
about Will. It's all about Levis. I don't know how Levis is gonna be.
He wasn't bad actually. I actually thought
fine.
he had good chemistry with Hopkins. I thought he did like a good thing that young quarterbacks I feel like should do more of is where there's like a healthy balance to this, but when you have like a stud receiver, just throw him the fucking ball.
Throw it up.
Like when in doubt, especially a guy like D Hop who's like a go get it guy.
Yes,
Just throw him the ball.
he did
When
that a
you're in doubt,
lot.
throw him the ball.
He was under pressure, nobody open. Just throw up the ball.
You don't want to go like too over the top where
Yeah.
you're not even reading the defense. You're just like, all right, I'm gonna throw it to D Hop.
100%.
But when he got like in trouble and had some protection, he was chucking it.
Who else do I think?
Titans, by the way,
was
6.5 is the line on them.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to be like really good. I'm just saying they added a piece to their offense that they
Texans
needed.
definitely got better.
Texans got.
Well, I agree with you. The line disagrees. 9.5.
Texans.
I have some. That's
It is a lot.
that's a
But,
lot,
but it's
though.
also that's just. But what is the juice stat? Like what's 9.5? What?
I'm sorry.
That's a big factor.
They got 10 wins. They're in the playoffs.
Also, it's 9.5 minus 150. I would
Oh,
say.
it wasn't that high. It was. I'm sorry. It was close. Minus 140.
Yeah, so
Yes, that's. I mean,
they think they're gonna.
They're saying 10 wins.
But also, I think partly, especially we're talking like all AFC teams right now. It's such a gauntlet. Like how many wins?
The
can you
AFC
really-
is crazy.
That's what I mean, like how many wins can you really make their total? Even if
Right.
they add like Mixon and add defensive players and add Diggs and.
Chargers will be dog shit this year.
But even them, I think they'll be improved from what they were last year.
Do you think so?
They were atrocious last
but
year.
I know,
like-
but they're
They
like.
were god awful.
Listen, Keenan Allen, like I say, what you like, he played well for them last year, and they don't have him.
Sure, but I'm saying but just not having Herbert for like a decent chunk of the second half.
This is something that Ev and I did a show alone a couple weeks ago.
So I'm in on the Browns. I like Browns are like plus like 150 to make the playoffs.
Love the Browns.
I like the Browns.
Chargers line is crazy to me. So we talked about how the gauntlet.
I know. I think I'm fading the Chargers like in general. Like in terms of like betting, we talked about like
Fine.
under and all
Ready
that.
for this,
Like
Marty?
not make the playoffs.
under 8.5, plus 130.
I think that's like solely on Harbaugh.
I mean, a big chunk.
That's
of it.
crazy.
In the offensive
right?
line.
Me too.
And
And
it's Harbaugh on the offensive line.
I already hammered it. Like when we had this. Sorry, buddy. When we had the show a couple weeks ago, I already hit it. Like that's crazy to me. Right?
yeah, I don't like that.
It's to me. It's because I think
Because also their schedule's not the easiest either. That's the thing.
I think the Raiders are a little better.
No, I see the Raiders. I like. We talk
Me
about
too.
that.
Yeah,
I'm big on the Raiders.
Ev and I are big on the Raiders. Down on the Chargers.
I'm big on Crosby and Christian Wilkins. People are not talking about
love the-
Christian Wilkins is a dominant
I mean,
interior
the
defensive
Raiders.
lineman.
You're on the Raiders too, right?
I love
When you
the
have
Raiders.
when you have Christian Wilkins and Max Crosby, who I consider two like dominant defensive linemen, you can't double both of them. You just can't. Like legit.
Wait, who's the quarterback?
Minshew, do you think he's like a
but
guy?
they still have
That's
O'Connell,
the
though.
one
I
problem.
think he's good enough.
You have
for them
two
to, like, make the
okay quarterbacks.
playoffs.
O'Connell, I
He's
don't
okay.
like him. I
If you don't
like
got
him.
one quarterback, you got zero.
No, but that's all right. Yeah, but it helps to have a good
He's throwing
backup.
cliches.
Minshew's not like Minshew is.
I mean,
not
he was literally a first and goal from making the playoffs last year. He's not like horrible.
And he also is injury prone, so I'm happy to have a good backup
They
quarterback.
also have Devontae Adams and Myers, like and they just drafted Bowers.
Yeah.
Michael Mayer is a very good tight end. Like they have legit.
Oh, they're
guys
getting
up
better. They're getting better.
So Marty, listen.
They have legit
So
guys.
the Raiders line is 6.5, and the Chargers 8.5. I think that 8.5 is probably too high for the Raiders. But isn't that crazy?
I might bet the first game of the season, in one of the first games of the season right now, it's Raiders Chargers. Raiders.
What's the
plus-
line?
Raiders plus 3.5
Where?
Where's the
Where's
game?
the game?
at Chargers.
It's basically gonna be a home game
me Raiders,
for the
baby.
Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders are
Raiders
going
plus
there.
3.5.
Plus 3.5. I already love it.
See, the only thing I will defend with the
Kind of
Chargers,
do
even though-
too, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I'll defend with the Chargers, even though, like I said, I like the under 8.5. I talked about with Clemmer a few weeks ago. I think in terms of like winning and losing games, I think sometimes we overvalue receivers. Like we're like, oh, there's no Keenan Allen. There's like, how are they going to be?
We do.
And like the receiving core is like bad. Like Mike Williams was never healthy anyway. Keenan Allen, as when he was healthy last
It was
year,
very good for them,
he's
though.
phenomenal. I love Keenan Allen. He was injured a lot during his career, even before Herbert, but definitely during it.
Also,
too.
Austin Eckler
And,
sucked
like they have no
last year,
receivers
but he helped them out a little bit.
for sure. But he also wasn't great. They have no. They really like. I just think the receiving core they have, granted, lost talent. I don't think that's going to play like as big of a factor in them winning and losing as people would think just like on paper.
Chargers fans would probably push back and be like, well, you have Herbert for the whole year. But they were 5-8 with him last year. So it wasn't like they were good with him.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Also, their
I'm
defense-
arguing like that.
their
I'm
defense-
saying they're bad.
Their defense is horrible.
Their defense is terrible. That's what I think is going to be a big.
So I look at the Chargers schedule, and there is more like, I hate to do this in fucking June, but we're gonna do it this right now. The Chargers schedule, you're kind of like, maybe. So Raiders,
Win loss.
Raiders is like
coin flip.
it's a coin flip.
All right.
Panthers probably gonna win. Steelers,
Where?
it's at Steelers, so they're
Probably a
probably gonna
loss. Probably a
lose
loss.
there. Chiefs lose. Broncos at Broncos, they could win that game.
At Broncos?
I think it's a coin flip.
Tough at. If it was home, they'll
tough
win the
game-
home
tough
game
game
against
at
them, not the
Broncos.
road game.
Cardinals
That's maybe a win.
Maybe when Cardinals going to be better than I think.
at home against the Saints.
A full season with a healthy Murray.
I like the Saints there.
I just don't know how the Saints are really gonna be.
Defense should be at least like decent.
Browns, we would say a loss. Then Titans, they can win that at home.
We got 3 now.
Bengals lose. Ravens lose. They can. The Falcons, you don't know how they're going to be, but I think they're going to be good.
I think they'd be good. I'm behind the Falcons.
Chiefs loss. Bucks at home, they can probably win that. Broncos at home, they could probably win that. Patriots probably win. So that at the end it gets a little. So yeah, and then Raiders again. Also, we forget
So that's 7.
yeah. So it's.
I think you were too kind with some of those end ones, but all right.
But
So
yeah, I get what you mean. You know what I mean? Like I get like there's some.
we're saying between 6 and 7.
Yeah, I still take the under.
I have one Chargers take. Keep an eye on 7th round wide receiver Cornelius Johnson to have a good season, be a good fantasy stash towards the end, because Herbert needs a wide receiver 1 to find. It could be Ladd McConkey, but Harbaugh's guy from Michigan, maybe he tries to target him more.
It's not a bad take.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ev knows the name.
I think
Cornelius
Ladd
Johnson.
I
McConkey could be a
do.
rookie of the year.
I'm more of a. I actually don't. Even though I hate. I'm speaking Roman Wilson, who the Steelers drafted. I think is going to be like a great.
It's a
great
worse
fit for
offense
them.
though, but yeah, you're right.
I mean, I just know how much. I mean, he'll have opportunities. He said they don't have.
They don't have
receivers,
guys,
but
so why not Harbaugh just puts trust into the guy he coached for 5 years basically.
I'd more be in fantasy wise. Obviously, he'll go earlier, but I'd be more in on Ladd just because he's going to get the
Oh
ball a
yeah,
lot.
I'm really talking about a guy that you
They
draft
have to.
last round, no trolling.
I think he's a sneaky rookie of the year candidate.
I think it's tough though this year because all the quarterbacks like Caleb Williams and all the receivers.
100%.
I think
Literally,
it's
if
tough.
one of them's good,
If
yeah,
you're looking, but if you're looking
not
at
fair.
if you're not looking at a quarterback to get it done, you're like, oh, who could be? I look at him as well, this is just gonna sound like because he's white and quick, but a Cooper Kupp, and you have a Justin Herbert as a quarterback. If they make a push and he's wide receiver 1 and he puts up a fucking Puka Nacua year, it's not the craziest stab to take.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. No,
Because you do have a legitimate.
What are the odds?
I would say that 4 of us in the room think that Justin Herbert's a legitimate QB1 in this league.
Oh well, yeah, he's really shown it because he can't win one playoff game. Isn't that what people do? I understand it's not a full. It's not just a quarterback. It's not this. It's not that. He's been in the league for quite some time.
I mean, Marty, you're a loser till you're not. That's just the way sports goes. Jason Tatum was a loser for 8 years. He's not going to be a loser by Friday.
Daniel Jones is a loser. He's got more playoff wins
loser.
than
Just-
Justin
Yeah,
Herbert.
it's just
Jason Tatum went to an NBA Finals. It's fine. It's just this what it is.
Kevin Garnett was-
Game 7 loss.
So Ted
to
Williams is a
LeBron.
loser, Phil.
He's remembered as a great hitter that
Is
never
Ken,
won
Ken
anything.
Griffey Jr. is a loser?
He's a great hitter that never won anything.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil. We're doing the brackets today. Corny athletes. Jason Tatum will be on the board.
What?
We're doing corny athlete draft today.
In the bracket.
The bracket. He will be on the board.
He's corny?
I'm with you, dude.
Yes.
He's doing his whole thing. It's
He's not corny
It's fine.
at
It's fine.
Also,
all.
He thinks it's cool that Kyrie celebrates.
No.
Kobe Bryant.
The Kobe thing was corny as fuck. Listen.
Corny.
I
That was weird.
don't think he should be. I don't know if he's top 16 corniest athlete ever.
Yeah,
but
that's-
the Kobe thing was
Pretty corny.
Definitely really.
It was-
I love Jason Tatum too. I,
I
think you
agree with that.
understand that. I
I-
love him.
I can't defend the Kobe thing.
The Kobe, it's corny. That's what I'm saying.
Very-
so
very weird.
corny, but I don't
It
think
was very look at me.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
weird.
the memes that come out of that are very funny.
So funny. I would like to say one.
I'm glad he did it for just the internet.
Yeah.
memes. Glad he
Yeah.
did it.
Damn.
Picks.
Russell Wilson's
Yeah,
number
he's
one.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's corny.
I said even a little Caleb Williams corny.
Yeah.
yeah, different kind of corny, but
See what he
sure.
just did?
Sure.
His
Can I-
number. You see what he just did?
Can I
His-
ask one?
Yeah.
And this is I think Anthony Edwards is teetering on the Corny.
Nah, you're crazy.
That's a different thing of corny. I think
he's like almost trying to be like so much like, yo, I am so cool. I'm the next flashy guy.
No, that's him.
No,
Yeah,
but that's,
I think it's a little corny.
He's authentic.
I think it's a
can
little
just
corny.
feel it.
You're too much on
You're
the
trying
internet.
to make him corny. But
I think he comes across a little bit corny. Nah,
So I think that
he was a Celtic. He wouldn't be corny.
Caleb Williams
for
just
sure.
did
the
Dude,
it.
he'd
baddest
be the
motherfucker-
fucking man.
he'd be the
next
baddest
Michael.
motherfucker
He'd be the next
alive.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I'd be doing this side by side.
Caleb Williams
He'd be a future champion too.
Caleb Williams most hated, like the guy who hates him the most, like does TikToks and all stuff. Caleb Williams DM'd him a video saying like, "I got you with a jersey and tickets." Like he did that. Like that just to me is also a little corny as well.
I think he's
I
more
don't-
weird than
see,
corny.
I don't
Just
mind-
don't answer.
I don't mind that. I don't think that move's corny. I think he's trying. I mean, obviously he's like trying to like kill him with kindness, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So
Which I
one-
kind of like because I feel like the reverse of that is way worse.
I think the reverse of just
The like.
I think just don't answer. That's just kind of what
Probably
you do.
fair. I don't hate. I don't.
You're gonna get a lot of haters when you're Caleb Williams. Like that's just a fact.
Like the thing with his mom, like that was so weird when he was just crying.
yeah, it was bad.
But, like I don't know if that's corny. It's more just bizarre.
He's a corny guy though. Like the new word that everyone is using is zesty.
Zesty?
Okay, that's the
like the-
weirdest thing on the internet right now is that people are
Ze-
calling Deuce Tatum, like Jason Tatum's
a-
son,
when you call it
zesty.
the
What does
thing
zesty mean? In,
Like a
in its
little,
Like
context?
Jesse for a long time.
Like PJ Washington, like when he plays defense, sometimes goes like this. It's like he's playing zesty. Like
I still don't really understand. Maybe you guys.
So
After the
Zesty is
show?
kind of like little like sassy. Is
Little
like, I would say
sassy.
kind of like a. It's
Like,
like,
flam-
a,
like
the way
flamboyant.
Caleb-
it's almost like it's like flamboyant with some spice.
The way Caleb Williams was
the
hitting
way I
it
would
off the
describe it.
tee.
Zoolander,
Okay.
Zesty.
Before we have to go soon, but the one thing that I wanted to Andrew Luck was brought up because remember when I don't think he was corny because I've heard stories about him firsthand where I was like, that's just who he is. Like the ones where remember when he would get sacked and say like thank you or like good job, good hit.
Good hit, big boy.
Like
That
I
was his
think
thing.
that's just like him and like he's almost head games. I don't think he's corny though because I've heard like again like he legitimately would eat lunch like by himself. He had a flip phone not for show. Like he just didn't want the internet. He did just like kind of go off into the sun like and retire when he wanted to. Like I think he did it on his own. I don't think he was corny.
I kind of agree. I just miss his voice so much.
He was a great
His voice was the
quarterback.
best ever.
I remember when he retired and I was like, what the
It was at my bachelor party. The most shocking thing.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
he
for
got
a
rail.
basketball
He got
party.
railroad.
Oh, yeah,
Killed?
yeah.
Great for the boys.
Andrew Luck when he retired.
Damn.
We're all freaking. We're in a Twin Rivers casino, and we're all freaking out. Like, oh my god, this is crazy.
He got railroaded because the news just dropped when he had wanted to, and he was just on the sideline
field.
for a
Yes.
preseason game. So the fans in real time are like getting these reports
Yes.
like our franchise star quarterback saviors were just retiring at like 28.
O.J. Simpson drafted him an hour before he retired.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's actually facts. You guys were talking about making and missing the playoffs, and I just looked up the odds. I wanted to say this. I have my best bet of the NFL season so far that I love. And it's contingent kind of on the Jets. I have the Dolphins to miss the playoffs.
I don't hate it.
I have
hate it.
Dolphins to
I
miss the
don't hate
playoffs.
I'm such
No,
a-
plus 135.
I want to tell you something. I don't. You could be right. I'm not dying on this hill, but I am addicted to how fast they are, and I don't care. They're a cool team. They are a cool team.
You're fun to watch.
When you add Odell to that team, and I don't even. He's obviously a little washed at this point. He played all right for the Ravens. Like he was fine, I guess, maybe a little below average, but like they got a cool ass team. Isn't Claypool still on that team too?
I think technically, yeah.
Or is he on?
He's on the Bills. He's Josh Allen's wide
that's-
He's
receiver
on the
too.
Bills now.
I'd say he's wide receiver too.
Their four receivers are Hill, Waddle, OBJ, and Braxton Berrios. Like that's a wild four. It's not like Waddle and Hill are insane. Did you see Hill's arms eating a donut?
Crazy.
That thing's bigger than literally you. His arms were ginormous. That wasn't a shot.
No, I know. I'm just thinking about his
First time-
prior indiscretions and just like, oh, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I talk football.
People
here.
make jokes about that on Twitter, like
It's not, it is what it is.
I know.
it's, you know, not exactly probably of the year.
They're just a team
No.
to me. When I see them, it's when they play dog shit teams, bet on them because they'll blow them out. And when they play a competent team, fade them because they'll just crumble to
Yeah.
playing a good team.
Yeah.
Cold.
All last year, they play like the They play the Broncos game. They win by 1 million. They play like the Giants, blow them out. They play dog shit teams.
Yeah.
Then they go play like the Eagles, lose. Go play the Chiefs, lose.
Yep.
When the Chiefs didn't even play well, like they play good teams, they will lose.
That's
But
why
they
it's
also
contingent
were
on the
a
Jets.
little. They were a little hurt on defense last year. No.
No. At the end of the year, they were fucked.
So like I
Sure.
think that like
I'm
their
saying they were
defense-
like the Chiefs game I was talking about was the one when they were healthy, not even the playoffs.
Ramsey is obviously unbelievable. What was it? Phillips got hurt last year.
Phillips got hurt.
He was great.
Well, now they lost this year. Like they lost Wilkins on defense. He's
Yeah.
on the Raiders now.
Yeah.
They lost Garfinkel. I think they lost. I think
It's not a bad bet
they lost
though,
the one D tackle.
because they do have a lot of hype, like a lot of like, because like what I'm talking about is all these fast guys and they should be good. Tua looks like a different person, to be honest. He looks like he lost so much weight.
Again,
like,
I don't find him
extend.
very good.
I do. I think Tua is good.
I think he's
but that's,
good. I think
that is
he's
the best
good,
argument.
but-
everyone loves. This is the best argument in football. I think is Tua good.
He's
Yeah, it's
good.
It's,
But like I'm
good.
firm at like just good. That's
Yes,
it. I'm
I
not
agree.
willing to go past good.
But
And,
honestly,
it is,
though,
like,
he
if
does-
Rodgers gets
but
hurt,
if he
it's,
goes
like,
off
dead.
though, if he goes off, people will always say he's got Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
because when he didn't have anybody, like we saw in the years that he had no receivers, he's looked just plain bad. And then people are like, oh, it's the coaching, it's whatnot. But like you even go back to like the Alabama days, he had great receivers. The years that he did have great like wide receivers that lifted up his talent, like I don't think he makes people better.
But I think it's kind of funny. That's fair. But I think it's kind of
I
funny.
mean, that's not a.
I think it's kind of
not a
funny
terrible
where
take.
it's like people have different opinions on him when like he's got great receivers, but other people that have great receivers, it's like they're the best too. Like Jalen Hurts, he's got unbelievable receivers, great offense.
But he's
One of
also done a lot more with it.
And rushing.
He's definitely a lot better.
But his
runner.
team's way better than the Dolphins, like defense and offense.
Sure, but
combined.
he's just played better against better teams.
Not last year though.
Last year they really last year he wasn't as good as he was the year before, obviously. But
Yeah.
they were also a massive. Their defense was just brutal.
Yeah.
I know we got to end. I just want to end with this real quick though. AFC East. Right now, the Lions to win the division. The Bills are plus 170. The Jets are plus 190, and the Dolphins are plus 200. The Patriots are plus 2,500. But it's interesting.
Give
Those three
me-
are all so.
Give me the Bills. The Bills is my team this year. Completely.
Really?
They're
Oh,
going to
that's
win the
annoying, 'cause
division.
I was gonna say that too.
It's okay. Let's go.
Why are you guys? I'm not. I don't mean.
I think
why?
they got.
The same argument I was giving towards about the Chargers about the receivers overrated. Like them losing Diggs to me is not going to be a big factor in them winning and losing.
It
games.
helped. It helped. There was always nonsense going on with Diggs. He sucked last year.
They have fucking.
Sucked.
Well, he didn't. I'll push back on that. I'm not
For
saying he was.
Diggs,
That's
like
a
A
different
lot of the
thing.
second half of the
Yeah.
year, he was not like putting up yards. And they were.
And he
and they
didn't.
were
He
winning,
didn't
and
have
they
a
were
lot of
winning.
hundred. Like he didn't have like no 100-yard
That was
games.
when they were winning.
Yeah.
can you pull up Diggs
this
stats
is
real
who
quick?
they have, who I
Last
think
His
is solid.
overall stats for the year aren't bad. If you look game by game, he never had that like breakout game.
Yeah, they
right?
drafted Keon Coleman, who I'm a believer in.
Okay.
But before the he's funny, this and that, just a Florida State just ball nowhere. The guy was a stud.
Well,
Khalil Shakur, very good player, had a big year last year. I think becomes even bigger part of the offense this year. Curtis Samuel, I think solid addition. Dalton Kincaid is an absolute stud.
unbelievable.
Stud. With Dawson Knox, like two good tight ends, they have guys to throw to. And fucking James Cook had an unbelievable year last year as the running back, catching balls in the backfield.
Cook's great.
I really don't think they're all like losing Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs sounds really bad on paper. I don't think their offense is going to be any worse than it was.
To last year is one of his in his standards not one of his greatest years.
Right. I wouldn't say it's a horrible year, but it's not. It does.
Definitely not horrible, but
It doesn't stack
Horrible.
up with his best.
But, like when you're talking about Stephon Diggs is like your number one receiver is like this guy's the best. He's great. He didn't really do much last. So
he had a good,
mean,
like,
that's a pretty damn good
1,100.
You had a
almost
good
1,200
year, but
yards
you
and 8
got. You
touchdowns
know what I'm
in the year,
talking
but-
about? I'm talking about like Diggs. You're right. You're all right. He had a good year, but like
Keon Coleman has just as good a stat line this year, I think, if not better, potentially.
I kind
Diggs
of
had last
agree.
year.
Davis.
He might not catch as many
Davis
balls, but I
sucked.
think yards.
Well, Davis had 746 yards, but he had 7 touchdowns. So you are losing 15 touchdowns with Diggs and Davis. Now you could say, hey, some of those touchdowns are 1-yard passes. Anyone would have caught them. I get all that, but some of them weren't.
But guess what?
I think Coleman and
Josh
Samuel
Allen
fill that.
also. We were talking about make people better. Josh Allen's going to make these guys good.
Like,
Absolutely.
you guys love Dalton Kincaid. I think he's good too. He had 2 touchdowns last year from a tight end. Like that's not great.
But see, that's where I think they were.
But
I'm talking like what I saw. You're just looking at a stat and saying,
I
only scored.
I saw the games too, but yes.
But I'm saying like that guy
very
is
good. He's very
a
good.
dynamic pass catcher. That his role will only increase in his second year. It will only increase with a guy like Diggs leaving.
I agree. That's going to get him
When I see
more
him play
targets in the
football,
red
like
zone.
I see a really good football.
I agree. I like him a lot. I'm just saying it is a lot to replace. So I have a
Absolutely.
hard time jumping on the
I don't
Bills.
care what anyone says. Josh Allen's the second best quarterback in the NFL, and there's no argument, and I don't give a fuck.
There's
There
an
is an
argument.
There's an argument, but he is the second best.
I think he's top like 3-4.
It's definitely an argument, but it's like a fair take.
He's 2.
I mean, he's great. I mean, I hate playing him as a Jets fan. I'm sure you hate him as a Patriots fan. I hate
mean,
playing him.
Burrow
I
Burrow
want
and
to take
Lamar
the
are still
Jets.
phenomenal.
If I was just betting wise, I'd like to take the Jets, but it is just injuries and just
Bills.
Bills. I like, but I don't want to also be like a homer now and like everyone's on the Bills.
Why is that? Why? It's okay. We can
Me and
all.
Marty-
I don't
me and
trust
Marty,
the
it's not
Dolphins.
It's not everyone.
I don't
Rebuilding
trust-
year for the Patriots.
And this everyone's kind of like the Bills are like this. Oh, this was their last year. Last year was their year to finally do it. The other year was they had a breakthrough. This is their year when maybe they're not talked about the most. Let's do picks and get out of here.
I think they're not talked about.
I don't think they're as
I
talked
don't
about.
feel like they are enough.
And like they
I
always
don't
will
know.
because Josh Allen. But like the Dolphins are more talked about right now.
Dude,
The Jets are talked about every day. Ev, what's your picks?
So I'm on the Marty. You got the hat on. I'm on the Cubs.
Let's go.
The Cubs plus 120 today. Tyone's on the mound. I'm also on the over in the Yankees game, over 9.5.
Dude, sorry, but when the Yankees throw out a lineup like that yesterday and still win,
Against a pitcher that's
How
been pretty successful this year.
good
Really
the
good.
Yankees
Lugo's
are.
been awesome this year.
When
I've been betting Lugo. I pretty much have bet him almost every start.
When
besides-
I think the
Jemai,
water is starting to reach its level
what's
now.
his
with him,
other name? Jemai Jones or whatever the Yankees.
Maury Jones.
Yeah, it's
Maury Jones. My God, that's when we're winning.
And I got the over I'm taking the over in the in Phillies Red Sox over 8.
I don't think the Mets should ever be minus 145, so I'm taking the Marlins. I'm going Yankees again because they win every game. Make fun of me, they win every game, so I'm going to keep taking them. I'm on the Cubs as well, Ev. Tyone's pitching great. The Cubs need it, honestly. They had a day off, too, which is nice. And they love inside information. They love playing in Tampa. Love. I'm going to go with the Cardinals as well against the Pirates. Skeens has to mess up once. And that's all I'm doing. He has to.
Nicholas hasn't looked right.
But he might not. Skeens might be the best pitcher we've ever seen in our entire lives. He might be. We don't know. And then my last one, I am going with the Athletics against the Padres. Plus 140.
Couple things here. My pick of the day: Zach Wilson under 2.5 earned runs. I also have the
Wait, what's his name?
Zach Wheeler.
Oh, I thought you said Zach Wilson.
I think I said. Hopefully I said Zach. Remember that was
Honestly, for a second, I thought you said Wilson.
Yeah, I did.
I knew who you meant.
Still
say
on your
Zach
head. You
Wheeler,
still
sorry.
miss him.
I don't miss him. He's still in my head. I'll give you that. Zach Wheeler under 2.5 earned runs. I'm also on the Phillies run line. The Red Sox, I don't get it. That lineup stinks. I will say Zach Wheeler has not allowed 3 earned runs or more in a start in the last 4. I'm also on the Blue Jays money line. You remember, I always say it every show, that early win is still there. Grab it, run with it. The Brewers are starting a guy making his major league debut. And this isn't a game I'm going to have any action on. Just a game I'm interested in is the White Sox are starting a rookie pitcher, Drew Thorpe. Excuse me. He was in the Yankee system for a long time. He got traded to the Padres in the Soto deal, then got traded to the White Sox in the Cease deal. His AA numbers are wild. And he's facing a Mariners offense that's
Wildly good or bad?
wildly good.
Okay.
Drew Thorpe is really interesting to me. So if you're just a baseball fan, like I don't really have a because they're playing the Mariners. Brian Wu is starting. Did I get that right? Brian Wu there, Phil.
Okay.
Okay. And so like I don't have like. I always get worried with a guy making his major league debut, even if he is great. But if you're a baseball fan, you want to watch a game. I know there's not a lot of sports on tonight. Like check that out. Like it could be interesting.
And for you hockey fans, sorry we didn't talk about the game.
I was actually going to talk
of
about
course,
it.
hockey, yeah.
I have a pick for that.
Oh, ooh.
For the next game?
Just in general, I think that like last night they got blown off the ice. I like Edmonton to make this a
They're
series.
playing better than the
Well, didn't they dominated the first game and lost 3-0, right?
Yes.
And then they Well, they got smoked yesterday.
I like
They were
because
winning for a while when they were playing bad.
and unlike basketball, I know like Mario was talking yesterday about like, oh, the Mavs, you're saying this is dead. I do think that like in hockey, just because you're down 2-0, even 3-0, like you can make it a series. And you're telling me you could get the best hockey player in the world at plus 360 right now? I'm taking
what?
Edmonton right now to win the cup.
Whoa. All right.
I don't hate it.
To spice it up a little bit, you get like
and the first 2 games were in Florida.
right.
So I mean, they're going.
He's going back home.
Buy low spot. I don't.
And
hate it.
you're telling me that 18 up, but like the Yiddies girl is gonna be there, bringing out her cans, riling up that crowd. Like I am like you're getting 2 wins in 2 sets right there.
Love that. Yeah, she was on spitting chiclets last night.
She was, yeah. Said they're fake.
Yeah,
It's all right.
Hey.
They still look great.
But she's real to me.
God makes.
hey, no, I mean, they yeah.
Did you see her
I'll say
reaction?
right now, great doctor.
Did you
They
see
said
her?
God
Yeah,
makes
great
mistakes.
doctor. Did you see her reaction to Biz asking if she dated RA?
She was like, God no. I was like, oh, my guy, all right.
I know.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I'm sorry. I just read the headline. Anthony Richardson went under anesthesia to get a full back tattoo.
That's what they've all been doing now. It's honest. I guess if you got it like that, it's smart.
Oh, it's people get all.
Oh.
Bro, that's gotta hurt so bad when
That's
he
why
wakes
they go
up.
under.
No, when he wakes up.
I think I
gotta
never got a
hurt.
tattoo.
It's-
I can.
me neither. I don't
I've
know.
gotten tattoos.
Feelings
I've
only
never
get
gotten a full
explained.
back one. I have 2 tattoos. It definitely hurts, but a full back, that sounds insane.
I feel like when you wake
How
up.
long does it hurt after?
Not too bad. Yeah, it's more during like
I thought that's why I feel like getting
after it's
full
like
back,
after
I
it doesn't
feel
really
like
a full
gotta-
back though is so intense I can't imagine.
Yeah.
You always want to cover it up a little bit, but like it hurts during more.
Yeah.
That's what I always was told. I was told
Yeah.
chest and ribs are the most.
Like I had one that's not colored, like I had the Ninja Turtle one that's like green and red. That kind of hurt. The coloring hurt, but my other one is just a tungsten cube, and that doesn't hurt. Didn't really hurt because there's no coloring.
Say you're a turtle and a tungsten.
I have Raphael the turtle on one leg, and I have a tungsten cube on the
Hey,
other.
if we did tattoos here, who has the worst? It'd be a good competition.
There's quite a few.
Mine are great. I love
In
mine.
the competition, yours would be in the
I'm not
competition.
in the
Oh,
competition.
mine are awesome.
I am not in the competition.
No, I'm not at all.
It's a
Why?
weird thing where all the people with bad tattoos love how.
What's the
how
tattoo?
good they are.
Which bad tattoo?
You're right. You have good tattoos.
Yeah.
My-
What's so
I'm-
bad about my tattoo?
we still don't know what it is.
I'll show you guys after.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Because then you'll see what I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah, that's why he got me. Dana's are funny though. Dana's are great.
I actually meant to ask you guys
Dana
this
has
question.
a bowl of chili on his ass.
That's kind of awesome.
He has a bear cat with a bowl of chili.
Rocket Man, does he have?
Rocket Man, he's supposed to get still.
Are you gonna get
Still
that?
hasn't
Marty?
gotten it?
No, he hasn't gotten.
Why don't you
it
get
yet.
it, Marty?
I don't do tattoos.
No, not at all.
Maybe one in my life I'll do.
Oh wow. Okay.
But I'm
I'll
not
do a
big-
tattoo bet with you for the Jets Patriots.
All right. What, I nothing embarrassing.
Fantastic.
Like
No logos.
Okay,
I
what's
was
the
thinking,
bet?
just like, people don't. I'll say this right now. If the Patriots win 7 games this year,
6. It was 6.
you said 6 or 7.
We're going with 6. It was over 4.5.
Okay, 6.
So
Deal?
you're even getting an extra one on the line.
Yeah, I'm getting I'm getting plus money on this.
All right.
bet.
So what if they get 6? So if they hit 6, then you win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I want to get. Do you have an ass tat already?
No.
I want
No.
I want you to get. I resign as head coach of the New York Jets. BB.
That's a lot of words, but I don't hate that.
You have to get it that.
What's his then?
I gotta think about it.
You can think about it.
Okay, tomorrow we're finishing the bet right now and making it happen.
All right.
I
Also-
love it because I would never do a tattoo bet, so I respect both of you.
One more thing. Who
Also,
would win a?
the-
Who would
I
win a
think-
free?
Ass tattoos. It hurt to
Your
sit
belt.
down. I'm a little nervous about
Nah,
that.
it's good.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
good.
You know, it doesn't hurt to sit down the next day.
No, it's a lot of fluff.
All right.
I don't
I don't have that much fluff. I have a lot of bone.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to ask you guys this question. Do you think? How long would a free throw competition between RA and Jack Coleman take?
I'm not kidding.
First to
you.
10, first to 10.
If we did like first to 40, let's say first to 40, I truly think it would take 24 hours.
So I would say Coleman. So here's the thing that I saw yesterday. In warm-ups, he was hitting some free throws.
Yeah, but then he did.
Once the game started, he
Yeah.
missed the second shot. Missed everything.
second shot did the. full
I
Coleman.
would put my
I was
money.
like, yes, I got the Coleman experience.
I'm putting my money on Coleman.
I think RA would do better under pressure.
Yeah.
With the camera on
I
stream,
think
like
camera
free
on,
throw,
I give RA.
like free throw style
Bro, he
competition
did
in
6 minutes, not one. He got one.
But he said he figured out his mechanics and he was making them.
But I think if you get
Without the camera on.
if there was like a time frame
No
where
camera on.
RA like knew the competition was coming up and then he also got to practice
Yeah.
some, I'm going with RA into the bright lights.
It's,
It's my opinion. Maybe I'll be
we
wrong.
need to
I
make
think it's a
Maybe we got to run this.
I think we all agree it's a
but
competition that has to happen.
The competition. The question also was how long does it take? Not like who gets there first.
Well, I think it should be
10
like, on
free
how many
throws.
shots.
First to 10.
Like how many shots does it take for you to make 25?
What
Whatever.
about this?
whatever
What
number.
about this? Kirk and I don't want to say Titus because he's too good at it. Like who? Kirk and like say
Big T.
Big T.
Who's the best free throw shooter on your team?
Probably.
That's all right.
Not
so
great.
not great.
All right, let me
Probably
ask
close
Coach,
to me.
Coach, if there's a technical free throw where you get to pick on the court your best five, like who's shooting?
Okay.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah. So we'll put Mulcahy.
But I'm not happy
Okay.
about it. I love Nick, and Nick's a great. It's our weakest part of our game.
Mulcahy and Kirk against them two. It's 100 to 10. Who wins?
Who makes 100
I think
faster
Kirk and-
combined?
Oh, they do.
You think so?
I mean,
Yeah.
10 ton and 100 is such a big gap.
I think it's
If it's
Kirk.
just on like shots.
Well, they're saying it's Kirk, and they're saying Kirk wins
Wait.
Oh no, not to make 100.
10 total?
100's a lot.
in total.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
of free
Kirk.
throws.
Kirk.
I think
Well,
Kirk.
McKay's not that great at it, so maybe you're right.
All right, so Titus and Kirk then.
They win.
They win in legitimately 105 shots.
100 they have to, everyone has to switch every time. 100 to 10.
Titus makes it tough because I'm sure he's shooting like in an open gym easily over 80%.
I think Kirk was too during the free throw run, like 70.
It's a great
They were
competition.
doing that competition. He was
Yeah.
nailing them.
Yeah.
Um,
Did
That's
you hear
tough.
Coleman said he didn't play bad last night?
Yeah.
He had 0 points.
It wasn't even
He
that.
said
Like,
he said he like shut down Dana in a boxing one.
yeah.
He's like I guarded him well. It's like it was a fucking boxing one.
All right.
Boxing one on a guy that plays in the paint.
And just kept doing it when I hit 7.
yeah, and meanwhile, Marty has every open look.
When you hit 4 threes, you think
What was the
changed.
official tally on the points? What did he score, like 24?
I think it was because the guy got it
You hit
wrong.
7
'Cause we had
threes?
50-something points. So I had 7 threes, and then I hit.
You had a 2 and 1.
I hit a 2. Yeah, so I think I had
25,
25,
26.
26. All right, that's a show.
With a 40-minute running clock.
If I don't do that though, I
I
think
mean, the team only scored 4.
if I hit my normal, maybe 2 threes, 2 to 3 threes, I think they might have beat us.
Yeah, I mean, you needed them. You guys definitely needed them.
All right, that's a show. We'll be back tomorrow with a tattoo bet with Clemmer and Deuce, the Patriots and the Jets in June.
Really just, yeah,
In June.
Really
So
just more on the Patriots.
we're the Patriots, yeah.
yeah,
Nerd versus frat boy.
Yeah.
yeah, nervous frat boy. All right, that's a show. See you guys.